Morning all. Thursday morning, just before Good Friday. Martin's shave tests back again. Thought I'd do a little bit of bowl lathering of a sort. Not my best. Anyway, I just thought I'd try today to copy the Koraat shave, which Gary just did. Gary's got a new Koraat. I've got one from Gary, and they're beautifully made, the Koraat razors, in Austria. I have to say, I love good engineering. It's my Scottish background, not that I'm Scottish, but my grandmother's family, I believe, was Stevensons, and they were Scottish. Talking of which, the Scottish National Party has just imploded. It seems lovely Nicola Sturgeon, his husband, has been arrested on the usual embezzlement, fraud and God knows what other charges. £600,000 gone missing from the funds. But the best part is, of course, they're strictly a Scottish party and they really do want to break away from the UK. And so what did they do? They elected a Muslim gentleman to be the leader of their party. So a form of sort of mutual suicide, really. But anyway, enough of that. I'm not here to talk about the strange ambiguities of British politics, other than the fact that most politicians, by virtue of their calling, are insufferable bastards. But anyway, on with the shave. I've done my usual pre-shave, a little drop of this wonderful stuff, courtesy of Jacques, who always has the best ideas. But Gary, who is a shave god, as we all know, I follow him like a dog on a leash, because you can't go wrong for someone that's been shaving as long as Gary has. Anyway, this week has been an amusing week, I suppose. The weather, being here in the UK, is rubbish. But to have a nice shave will put it all right. So, look at this. Translucent blue scales. Absolutely beautiful razor. It's got the 14 emblazoned deeply on the tang, with, of course, the Koraat emblematic sign. I have great hopes for this. I haven't actually done very much to this razor. I haven't used it really, to be honest. One of my collection of wonderful modern custom razors. It was Gary's Edge. Yeah, it's interesting. Feels good. The edge is a J-nut. The shape of the blade is a beautiful homage to the older style, to the monikers, which I love. You just simply cannot beat the classic lines and grind. You can hear it chewing away. It's a very deep hollow. My last shave, for any of you who could put up with me, which isn't many, was with a Max Sprecher. And that was a beast. We gave a very nice shave. I'm not really as biased as I used to be against wedges and quarter hollows. I would still say though, for me, a good edge on a full hollow takes some beating. This one in particular is very, very nice. I should have to put a little bit more water, as I'm now doing, courtesy of Jacques, from the water in Jacques. Yeah, I would say I really do need to concentrate more on the peripheries of shaving, lathering in particular. I used to be notorious for a very thin, very quick lather, because I'm an old lazy sod. But this one is going on very well. And of course it's rather nice. Let me just show you the back If I can reach here. Ooh, hang about. There we go. Tobacco, original. Very nice. Which I've just dropped. Still dropping soaps isn't a crime. Dropping razors is a crime. So we won't be doing that today. Anyway, I never have actually. Here goes the other side. Yep. This is on 4 days. Very nearly 4 days of stubble. Good 3 days anyway. As you can hear, it's doing a pretty good job. That lovely crisp tone you get from a good edge. I'm not sure if a J-net edge is best, I really don't know. I usually go for a synthetic edge. But if the synthetic edge is too sharp and a bit draggy, because it is too sharp, I usually go for an Arkansas, a black Arkansas edge. Ooh. Black arcs, quite an over sharp edge. And I do find that they take a hell of an effort to put on though. The problem is I use oil with my Arkansas edges. The problem there is they slip and slide everywhere. Now if you put too much pressure when you're honing on a black Arkansas, especially with a deep hollow ground, all you'll do is deform the edge, because the pressure that you're putting on obviously is going to bend the blade very slightly. So it's a bit of a catch-all. But getting back to this wonderful blade, isn't it pretty? Classic shape. I'll go against the grain, under the chin. Yep, that's nice. I'm not going to make a huge fuss and palaver. It's fairly early in the morning. Oh, I haven't got my watch on. What's the time? Can't even see. I can see that I'm recording. This ballot is another new phone, because the last phone was a POS, and although it had 64 megabyte lenses, it had lenses stuck like barnacles all over the bloody phone. I'm sure it was far superior to this Samsung. The only trouble is it had a fault, and the fault was caller ID. It wouldn't show who was calling me. Not very useful. So what I decided to do is to go back to the phone shop and say, please exchange this useless piece of rubbish, which they did, because I'm a regular customer. And lo and behold, I'm back to Samsung. And I must admit, they're very, very good phones. The last one was some Chinese import from a company I'd never heard of. And I wasn't terribly impressed. I was impressed with the specification. Yeah. What's the use of the good specification if the phone can't work as a phone? So, got to say, I don't like this edge very much. It's feels slightly brittle. This is just me being silly, I know, but when I HHT'd it, which I always do before a shave, it had a slightly brittle sound. Each blade has a different sound, which I think is indicative of the harmonics and the temper of the steel. I believe I'm right in saying that these wonderful Koraats have rather hard steel. And this one, to me, to my ancient ears, sounded brittle. It didn't ring like a bell. It's sort of cracked pot, more like. That's pretty good though. I think I could improve on this. The number of variables that you can put into an edge is unbelievable. Hence why generally my belief, and I'm no expert, is stick with something you rely on. Oh look, tiny little nick there. And what I can normally rely on is a very good quality, very fine synthetic edge. But it's no good me rapping on about something I know very little about. But I don't suppose anybody would agree with me that the harmonics of these fine instruments are somewhat difficult to ascertain. But I think I like things that ring. The softer steels of the older razors compared with the brittle, very, very hard steels of some of the custom razors. However, I'm not detracting from the wonderful world of modern custom razors. Certainly the Max Sprecher was a great surprise for me on my last shave. I won't bore you any further, but I'll just say I was surprised how a wedge of that size and that cost could shave so well. The great Gary even said that it sounded good, and he reckoned I'd had a good shave. So it's praise indeed. Anyway, chaps, I'd like to shout out some more, but at the moment it's early morning. I'm still trying to get my act together, which isn't working very well. God, listen to that noise. It's a fierce, noisy razor. The least that you can hear it's doing its job. Whereas with a more rigid blade, you can't really hear what the thing is doing. But this one, it's screaming like a banshee. You noisy little sod. That's what you get from a deep hollow grind. Feedback. And for me, feedback is pretty important. Though I would say I was very pleasantly surprised with the very lack of feedback on the Max Sprecher, because although it didn't have the feedback, its giant size gave it a certain tone and quality I rather liked. So I might do another Max Sprecher soon. Another shave of the Max Sprecher would be very nice. Anyway, this is only a quick 2-pass shave. I'm watching the time. I can't go over 15 minutes. You'll get bored and go away. Anyway, chaps, Thursday morning, just before Easter, I'd like to say have a wonderful Easter. And if you like this nonsense, please do tick the like box and subscribe. I'd be very grateful. We'll build the numbers up. See you all soon. Bye for now.